Today on The Zoo, artist Justin Bua joins us along with Alejandro Fernandez and designer Christian Ferretti.
Plus, Dennis takes us to a bridal expo because we're all gonna get married at some point, right? All right, guys, get ready. It all goes down right here on The Zoo.
Yeah!
All right, guys, we are here on The Zoo. Let's go ahead and do the whip.
Okay,
Dennis.
you guys know what to do. 1, 2, 3, wah!
So the beginning of the show is going to be a little somber than usual. First of all, we're wearing some pride, and I'm going to go ahead and unveil my solidarity with the LGBT community.
Thank you.
All right, my sister's a proud lesbian, okay, and I'm a proud brother of her. So we're going to start off with the top story.
Right.
Let's run that, and we are going to... So, you know, everybody knows about it at this point. The shooting that happened in Orlando, I happen to be from Florida as well, happened at a gay club on a gay night. All right, it was shot by a domestic terrorist who was the worst domestic terrorist act since 9/11. 103 people shot, 50 were killed.
Well, 49 victims, and then the 50th was the killer.
So we won't count him. 49 people lost their lives. So I want to start off with you, Dennis, as a proud, open gay man. Does this particular act of terrorism strike you in a personal way?
It really did strike me, to be honest with you. I mean, it's not that all the other tragedies didn't, but first of all, it was a Latino night.
Right.
It was a predominantly, gay crowd. I don't know how many of the victims were actually part of the LGBT community. So I really felt like that could have been me in the club, and I was actually in Orlando about 2 months ago. So I'm like, what about if I was there that night? I mean, this could have easily been any club here in LA or New York or anywhere else in the world. And it really did hurt me. I haven't really slept well the past 2 nights, to be honest with you.
Wow. Nelly, obviously a debate sparks whenever there's any violence with guns. So you're having a lot of people talk about, this is a gun control issue. Some people are bringing up radical Islam. The guy pledged, to ISIS before he committed this act. Some people are talking about mental illness. What have you been hearing? And I know you have been following what the presidential candidates have been saying about the issue.
Yes, I absolutely, this is the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history, okay? And I think Hillary Clinton did a great job, and she actually mentioned in her speech, we need more gun control. And I actually brought my chuletita, or accordion, like you say. But I'm gonna tell you 3 mass shootings, and you guys will tell me what they have in common. Okay. Aurora shooting in July 2012, Sandy Hook Elementary, December 2012, and Orlando shooting, June 2016. I mean, what do they have in common?
I think they have several things in common. We can talk about the lone mental gun nut, but we can also talk about the guns they're using. They're using high-powered, semi-automatic assault rifles.
Those killers, they all use an AR-15 rifle. Right. Okay? We need gun control. By the way, did you know that in Miami, in Florida, you can actually get this type of gun without a license?
Right, that's insane.
What?
It's insane. You don't need a license. Well, several places, you can get it from a dealer. Well, you just need an ID, Dennis, and an application, and you can get an AR-15 rifle.
And you can actually get them for under $800, so you don't have to be really rich to get yourself a military caliber assault rifle. And look, I have this debate with a couple friends of mine who are hunters, and they're very Second Amendment people. You can't do that in California, by the way, but they're very protective of the Second Amendment. And I get the Second Amendment, but I always ask them, should you have a nuclear bomb? And they always say no, and I go, okay, so let's draw the line. Where should we draw the line? Should a gun that one person can use to shoot 103 people, count to 100? Yeah. That's how many people were hit individually.
Yeah.
Should that be in the hands of a citizen, particularly someone who is probably mentally ill? Some people are saying that he was struggling with his own sexuality, and he was radicalized. He was radicalized by a very radical philosophy.
Not only that, I mean, more than just, attacking this club, there are reports that this guy went about 2 months ago to Disney World with his wife. And they were scoping out the scene to try to hit up that park too. I'm like, how in the world did the woman not say anything beforehand?
Absolutely. No, well, she could be charged for that, by the way.
Yeah, she could be in a compost.
So she's going to be
Remember
charged
the San Bernardino killer was a husband and wife team too.
Absolutely,
oh my God.
absolutely. Well, she might not be involved
no, I'm not saying
way.
she is, but...
But I think, this is a problem of guns. If you go back to it, I think, what is this type of rifle doing available to anybody who has a mental issue? I don't understand that.
I do think that at the end of the day, it is going an issue, but I'm gonna toe the line here for a second.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask if we as Americans, and often liberals, and I think for the most part we are, if we find ourselves in a rock and a hard place, between a rock and a hard place when it comes to any issues that involves any person who proclaims themselves to be radical Islam, because we're very protective of women, we want to fight homophobia, and we want to respect multiculturalism. But do I sound racist by saying that maybe we should also have a conversation about what is going on in the Middle East and with, you know, what is happening with Islam that is producing certain, you know, philosophies that go against what we believe in as Americans?
Well, you know that you're actually agreeing with Donald Trump right now.
To a certain extent, I think.
To an extent,
Yeah.
right? Because he's just putting a ban on Muslims.
Right.
And
I think that's too far.
That's anti-American.
Right,
You
you're right,
know what I
yeah.
mean? So it's just like we need to have a middle ground. So the first thing that needs to be taken care of is gun control. So hopefully Hillary will be the one to do so.
Okay. Dennis, for you, I mean, you know, let me be, I'm gonna challenge the two of you
Okay.
right now. I don't think that either one of you, as a woman and as an open gay man, would have an easy time in many countries in the Middle East right now.
I agree.
I don't agree because that's not my religion. I have to speak from the part that I actually know what that religion talks about and what they really believe in.
Right.
You know, we're just pretending to know. Let's have a discussion with people that are actually Muslim.
So, Dennis, I mean, how do you feel? If you were in the Middle East right now, would you feel safe?
No, of course not. I know that a lot of like my fellow, you know, GLBT brothers and sisters, they're not safe anywhere, you know? So they actually have to stay in the closet in order to protect themselves because they're, you know, afraid that they're gonna get killed or whatnot.
Do you think that the fact that it was a Latino gay night at the Orlando club has anything to do with the shooting, or was that just a
I
coincidence?
do wonder. I wonder if he was targeting specifically gay people or Latinos. Unfortunately, it was a combination of both, and then you add the whole terrorism factor to it, and you just wonder what was this guy's true motive, you know? Was it just an intersection of all these horrendous things at once, you know?
Yeah, I think we should also bring it up to the audience. We need to know what they think.
Yeah.
So we really want to know, and you and I were tweeting about it, by the
Right.
way, at the zoo on LATV.
We need more tweets,
So
people.
we
We'll
need,
read them online.
We
We'll
need
read
your
them on the air.
comments on these topics, but I think that it could be a guy who was in the closet,
I
who
absolutely agree
wanted to
with that.
come out. He didn't know how to do it. He
Right.
was completely conflicted with himself, and he
right.
had a mental issue
Absolutely.
because he was a regular patron at the club.
Yeah. I
agree
So
with that.
that's what he did, and he had, access to an
Yeah.
AR-15 rifle.
More than gun control, I think there is
So-
a big need to talk about homophobia as well.
Absolutely.
So on that note, we're going to take it to commercial. So that was a more serious top story than we usually do. And the moment that it happened, or it was put on the news, the first thing my mom did was text me and my sister that she loves us. So we love you guys and I love you guys.
Yay!
And we're going to be right back after this with some more lighthearted stuff right here on the Zoo.
Yeah! What in the world just happened here?
Well, we had to slip and dive into the dress.
Oh yeah, like he's gonna do tonight.
Right.